Welcome to Matchup 2 Online. When you first log in to Matchup 2 Online, you'll see a welcome screen along with an introduction to the My Recent Dogs tab and the Watch List tab. If you are registered as a CSD shelter partner and you are the first person to register for your shelter, you automatically become the administrator for the shelter partner account. The Shelter Partner Administrator is responsible for creating all new user accounts for your organization. This can be done by clicking on the Shelter Administration tab and selecting Add New User. Enter all of the contact information for your new user and hit Save. An automatic email will then be sent to the new user, and they need to click on the link displayed in the email in order to activate their new account. Once they accept your email invitation, their status will appear as active under the status category in the Shelter Administration tab. You are able to reset passwords for all users or even manage roles for all users. If you want the new user to have standard use on the site, their role should be Shelter Worker. If you want the new user to also have administrative rights, you can give them administration rights by selecting Administrator in the drop-down menu. Once you begin adding dog records to the Matchup 2 system, they will appear on the My Recent Dogs list. This list gives you easy access to the dogs you recently entered information on. You will also notice a status bar for each dog. Each bar represents 4 parts of the Matchup 2 program: behavioral history, the behavior evaluation, shelter behavior, and behavioral triage. A color code is also assigned to each part of the Matchup 2 program according to its status or progress. Green means a section is complete. Gray means some information has been entered but is not complete yet. Empty or blank means no information has been entered. The Center for Shelter Dogs recommends re-evaluating each dog after 30 days. If you see a yellow bar represented for the behavior evaluation, which is the second bar shown, it's been over 30 days since the dog's last behavior evaluation and you should re-evaluate the dog. Any dog can be placed on the watch list by clicking the star icon under the action column. By placing a dog on the watch list, you will have easy and immediate access to that dog if you know you will need to revisit, edit, or add more information at a later time. You may choose to place a dog on the watch list to keep a closer watch on a dog whose records may indicate a behavioral issue, or you simply want to keep a close watch on a particular dog. A dog will remain on the watch list until you choose to remove it. Remove a dog from the watch list by clicking the star icon under the action column. If you would like to see all of the dogs you have entered, click on the All Dogs tab and you'll see a list of all of the dogs you have entered. If you have a Shelter Partner account, you'll be able to see all of the dogs that have been entered by your entire shelter, and you are able to view and edit any dog record for your shelter. If you'd like to search for a particular dog, you may do so at the top of the page by entering search criteria such as the dog's name or dog ID number and clicking the filter button. You may create a new dog record at any time by clicking the Add New Dog button at the top of your page or at the bottom of the page. Now you may enter the identification information for your dog or demographics. Please note, there are some fields that must be filled out in order to move on to the Matchup 2 program. You must enter a dog's name, identification number, sex, whether the dog is spay or neutered, breed, and intake date. If you do not fill out these required fields, the system will alert you to these fields and ask you to fill them out in order to proceed. You may even upload a photo of your dog if you have one. Once you enter all of these required demographic fields, the dog will appear on the My Recent Dogs list. In addition to a dog's intake date, which is part of the dog's stay record, you may also enter information such as the dog's outcome date and outcome type once this information is available for the dog. Once you've filled out all of the identification information on the dog, you are able to begin the Matchup 2 program. You may begin entering information for any part of the Matchup 2 program. However, it is recommended that you begin with the dog's behavioral history first. You may also go back into any section of Matchup 2 to add or edit new information at any point in time. Please note, the behavioral history, the behavior evaluation, and shelter behavior part of the Matchup 2 program must be completed in order to run a triage report. Once these parts are completed, You will see an automatic red check mark appear above each section, and you are able to click into the triage report. Using information from the dog's intake form or intake profile, answer each behavioral history question. Once you've answered all of the questions, you are able to generate a behavioral history summary report. You may print this report or even share this report via email. In order to begin the behavior evaluation, you must enter an evaluation date. As you conduct each subtest of the behavior evaluation, check off the behaviors you observe. A video demonstration of every subtest is available for viewing. If you need help identifying a particular behavior, click on the question mark, where you'll see a written definition of the behavior as well as a video demonstration. If a dog does not demonstrate any of the behaviors shown, you must enter in the comments box, "Dog did not demonstrate any of the behaviors," in order to proceed. Subtest 11B is an optional subtest. If you do not perform subtest 11B, you must indicate "skipped subtest" or "subtest not needed" in the comments box to proceed. Once you've completed all 11 subtests, a red check mark will appear above the behavior evaluation section, and you are able to view a behavior evaluation summary report, which includes personality scores for the dog, which will be automatically calculated for you. Using information you've observed in the shelter, answer each shelter behavior question. Once you've answered all of the questions, you'll see a red check mark appear above the shelter behavior section, and you are able to generate a shelter behavior summary report. You can print this report or share this report via email. You may go back in to edit the behavioral history, behavior evaluation, or shelter behavior information by clicking into the completed section, scrolling down the summary report, and clicking back into any question or subtest shown in the progress bar. Once you've edited a particular question, you must click through all of the remaining questions or subtests in order for the completed red check mark to appear, indicating that this section is complete. Once the behavioral history, the behavior evaluation, and shelter behavior have been completed, you are able to view the triage report for the dog by clicking into the triage section. The triage report will reveal the triage points for the dog as well as the dog's personality scores. If the dog showed any indications of excitability or aggressiveness during any part of the Match-Up 2 program, the dog's weight category needs to be selected in order for the triage points to appear. Triage point range descriptions are shown to help guide your decision-making around the outcome category for each dog. It is up to your shelter to make a decision that is most appropriate for each individual dog, your community, and your shelter's resources. Once you determine the outcome category you would like to select for the dog, select the appropriate category. Once you've selected an outcome category for the dog and hit the Save button, a red check mark will appear for behavioral triage, and the dog status bar will now show full completion and will show all green bars. If you are registered as a CSD shelter partner, you have the ability to generate comparative dog reports, which will allow you to compare a selected dog to other dogs in your shelter or other dogs in the entire database. To generate a comparative dog report, click on the Reports tab. Next, you need to find and select the dog you wish to generate a comparative report on. To do this, you may enter any search criteria to find the dog, such as the dog's name, ID number, or even breed or intake date. Once you select your search criteria, hit the Search button. A list of dogs matching your search criteria will be revealed. Select the dog you want to generate the report on by clicking Start Report. Your dog's information will show on the left-hand side of the page, and you'll see a list of filter criteria on the right-hand side of the page. You can compare your dog to all of the dogs in the national database, or you can compare your dog to all of the dogs within your shelter or organization. You may also select more specific filtering fields for the comparative report, such as region, sex, and weight. Once you are done selecting your filtering fields, hit the Generate Report button. The comparative report will reveal how your dog's personality scores scale in comparison to the other dogs matching the filtering criteria you selected. The black bar represents all of the dogs based on your filter criteria, and the red bar represents your dog. The line graph represents your dog's triage points compared to all of the dogs matching your filtering criteria. You'll also see the average triage points and the median triage points for the dogs matching your filtering criteria, and what percentage of those dogs score lower than your dog. You can also see what percentage of dogs matching your filtering criteria have the same behavioral concerns as your dog. If you are registered as a single user, you have the ability to generate a comparative dog report, but without filtering criteria. Simply find the dog you wish to generate a report on and hit Generate Report. This basic comparative report will reveal how your dog scales in comparison to all the other dogs in the national database.